Welcome to Getting Real with Real Estate with Danielle Kempf and Jim Kempf, St. Louis's favorite father-daughter real estate team. Your source of real estate information in the greater St. Louis area.
All right.
Start with your question.
Well, Danielle, so my question for today is...
The question of the day.
Here we go. You ready? So I'm a prospective home buyer. I want to buy a house, right? I have no idea what to do.
Okay.
What's the first thing that I do, Danielle, in buying a house?
Download Zillow on your phone.
Wrong answer. It's a horrible answer. No.
Well, no, it is. I mean, looking online for properties for sale is the first step that most people take.
Yeah, pretty much everybody, right?
Everybody starts online. I mean, that's just today's age. I mean, when you were looking for a home, you looked in a newspaper, didn't you?
I did. Yeah.
And my mother still has a clipping of that.
Back in the day, man, you got the classified out, and that's exactly where you looked for a house. that day's long come and gone. So yeah, I mean, you do. A lot of people, Zillow, Realtor.com, Trulia, Redfin, wherever. There's a million different sites, but
There are some better sites out there than other ones.
There are some. I wonder, how do you get those?
Talk with your real estate agent. Get Maris.
Call
get a
Danielle.
portal. Call Danielle and get a portal to Maris set up for you.
Yeah.
Or let me help you download HomeSnap for your phone.
Oh, that's a good one.
That is a good one.
That's a good one. That'll help our clients.
It does.
So yeah, I mean, so for all those folks out there who are thinking about buying a home and I guess not really knowing what to do,
Where do you
you're
start?
obviously going to start on Zillow. You're going to
You're
start
gonna start
somewhere.
online.
You're going to look online.
You're either going to ask a question online, be like, how do I buy a house? Or you're going to look at Zillow,
Yeah.
and you're going to just start scrolling through and seeing, like, the houses for sale in the areas that you think you like, and that's where most people start. And then
what do they do? Well, the best thing to do would be call us, of course.
Well, yeah, and that is, so according to the National Association of Realtors, they do a generational buyer and seller trend report each year. The second most common first step taken during the home buying process.
That would be the second step in the home buying process.
Well, they're calling it the second most important first step. We'll show you guys the slide. But anyway, 19% of all buyers contacted a real estate agent.
Yeah. And that's obviously that's where you want to go to, get.
For all the information. And
Yeah, just, there's a lot to buying a house, guys. There's, it's just not necessarily a very easy process sometimes. You got a 9-page contract. You got riders that go on the contract. You got,
inspections. Who do you hire for inspections? What's a title company?
Yeah, there's just a lot of factors involved, and really, your realtor is, the person with the experience who is, gonna kind of hold your hand and walk you through that process. So, you don't have to use us, obviously, but we'd love you to. But definitely make sure you have someone on your team that is going to help you through the process and. Protect your interest because, you can, way back, again, going back to the classified days when the homes were listed in your classified in the newspaper, right? You didn't have inspections. The very first house I ever bought was as is, and, we didn't look at nothing.
Was that just common for the day? You just didn't know?
St. Louis County back then didn't even have an inspection process.
No occupancy?
So there was no occupancy. You just bought it and moved in and dealt
Hope
with
for the
what
best.
Hopefully, everything worked. And what didn't work, you fixed it. So that's just how it went. But, we don't want that to happen.
You have some more protections as a buyer now.
You've
seen, how many pages was the contract when you first started?
6, I believe it was.
And now it's
6 sounds about right. I think.
And now it's 9.
Something like that. It was on carbon papers, three plies,
You found that, though, a few months back.
I dug a few of those out from way back when.
Yeah, they're kind of funny. If you made a mistake, good luck. He's got a new one out.
That's right. Yeah. It was very different for sure. But so you've looked a little online, you contacted your real estate agent. What do you do? I mean, what happens next?
What we do next is we sit down and do a buyer's consultation. So we want to get to know, and as a buyer, you want to know kind of all that you're looking for in a home. You want to know, do you want a ranch versus a 2-story? What area do you want to be in? Do you want garages? Is a carport okay? What other things are there? Basement. Do you want a unfinished basement? What kind of kitchen?
Yeah,
updates, no updates?
Yeah, it's important, too, to kind of consider, just what do you do, right? What do you want to do at your house? Do you like to entertain? Because obviously different types of houses or maybe different floor plans lend a little bit better toward entertaining. Or you just, do you want things like a home theater room, some of that kind of stuff? Now, a lot of that stuff, not every house has that anyway, so it's hard to search necessarily for some of those items. But, again, things like, if you're a big gardener, you like spending a lot of time out in the yard, is a deck important? Is a yard important? Is, just different things that you, that you need to
utilize,
think. Yeah, just think of,
in your daily life?
Yeah, a lot of people don't really, I don't think a lot of people put a lot of thought into that.
I would disagree with that. No? Because, when I was looking for my apartment, we had our ideal list of what we would like, which mainly included a balcony. Yeah, but, we very quickly limited that one off the list. So I feel like most people have a idea of what they want in a home. I would say most people at least have, like, the generics down. Maybe they don't have specifics, bedroom, bathrooms down, but they're like, I want, like, maybe a cottage style, like the St. Louis, like city, like South City and the Hill, like the cottage brick bungalows, or maybe you want like a new 2-story out in like Chesterfield, or I feel like people have like a pretty good idea of what they're looking for in homes most of the time. Because like we said, most people start their search online, and people look online even if they're not looking for houses. Like, even they're not potentially buying, people still will
just to look.
Just to look. People know what they look and what they like and what they don't.
Right. Yeah, that's true. So what do you do, like, let's just say when, maybe a couple is looking for a property and maybe they're having a hard time deciding on certain things. What do you do, Danielle?
Well, I go to the feller in secret and I go, hey, just say yes to whatever she wants. No. You told me that one, but...
That's true. Yeah, well, that is true.
See, I get whatever
guys.
I want.
You just, just yes, dear, and that'll get you.
Not all the times, though.
No, that's right.
Not all the times. Anyway, but the one exercise that we like to recommend for our couple clients out there, you're going to each grab some paper, maybe some wine, maybe a beer, and you're going to separately sit down, and you're going to each write out your top 10 would like to haves and your top 10 absolute must haves. And so that's going to maybe be a little bit different for each of you depending on what you use the home for. So like Jim was saying, like kitchen or finished basement, and you're each going to have some different things on there, but you're probably going to have a handful of similar things on there, hopefully. And so then after you have your separate list all finished, you're going to come together, get a new piece of paper, and you're going to combine and you're going to talk about and figure out that priority list of the top 10 must-haves, your top 10 would like to have. So when you're going through a home, you have that list either in hand or in mind or on your phone, and you can kind of look at it and just reference it and like check. You can literally check off the boxes if you want to, of just this home has the open floor plan and the finished hardwood floors and the finished basement. Oh, and it has that bonus. It has the fully fenced-in yard. That's a would like to have, not must-have. And maybe it doesn't check absolutely every must-have. And quite frankly, you're probably not going to find a home that does check off every must-have box.
There's never a perfect home.
Yeah.
Even if you build one,
you're still going to forget something.
Yeah, because you'll get in there and live in it for about a month and go, gosh, we should have put a whatever
here
on it. Yeah, should have done something different. So what Danielle's talking about, I guess we'll call it the 85% rule.
Yeah.
Right? If you're out looking at a house and you find one that checks, 8 or 9 of the 10 boxes, you got a pretty darn good house right there, and you probably ought to write a contract on it, because that's just, you're never going to find the perfect one. It's never going to have everything. Usually, if I guess a finished basement's probably the best example. You know, a lot of people, maybe they want, you know, this or that, extra space in the basement, and, you know, maybe it's partially finished, but there's room to do something else, or, you know, just
Or is it
different
completely
things.
unfinished and the price is a little bit lower and you'll have
Yeah.
those added funds and you can go and finish it yourself exactly the way you like. There's
Yeah.
things like that. Or like a common one that I'm working with right now is first floor laundry. That's would like to have first floor laundry. Doesn't have to have, but when we go and we preview the houses, we're looking at ways to see if we can add a first floor laundry in there.
Mhm.
So just things like that. Sometimes you can adapt them where it might be on your list. The house might not have it, but just in time, you guys can make it work to where it fits your needs and it becomes that 100% house.
Yeah, gotcha. All right, okay. What other factors, just I guess off the top of my head, school districts, right? If folks are considering certain areas or whatever.
I feel like that's more if they're wanting a family or if they have a family.
Well, yeah, I mean, some people reach a certain age and, you know, like,
They don't care.
for example, they want to be in a certain district or whatever, or maybe they went to that district and they, you know, want to make sure the kids go there or whatever.
Yeah.
But then, yeah, like you said, if maybe empty nesters, they really don't care. But, you know, obviously that's something you're going to want to check out and make sure that, you know, if schools are important to you, how do you find that information out, right? So you want to talk about that real quick?
Yeah, we got two great websites that we always recommend for our clients.
Well, wait, Danielle, aren't you a school district expert?
I am not. Unfortunately, I could tell you the 3 schools that I went to, and that's about it. But no, there's 2 websites out there that are a third-party ranking system that we recommend for our clients who say that school district's important to them. And the first one is niche.com, and the second one is greatschools.com. And both of those, on greatschools.com, you can put an address in, and it will tell you what district the house is in. Or you can search by school district, I believe. Same with niche.com, you can search by the school district. And it just gives you information about, you know, their safety and their schooling and their amenities and everything like that. So
Yeah, and they have a rating system, you know,
mhm.
so it's just kind of, again, you really kind of
you got to
have
decide
do
that
your
on
own,
yourself.
Yeah, you got to do your own research when it comes to things like schools, because
Yeah.
that's, you know, people ask us, is it a good school? What I think is a good school, you may not think is a good school, right?
Yeah.
Because you may have different expectations. So we can't really tell you that, but again, you can look at those 2 sites, niche and great schools, and just, you know, get a pretty good feel for the quality, I guess, of the school, and see if that meets your needs. You know, a lot of people, they just, you know, here in St. Louis, seems like everybody grew up here. A lot.
What high school did you go to?
I went to Afton. Afton was a great school. I loved it, had fun. But, yeah, I mean, just, you know, a lot of people know where they want to be in terms of that. And then, but then, like, folks that we get, you know, that maybe come in from out of town or something, we think that's a good resource for them to kind of check those things, because, yeah, that's just not something that we can really necessarily tell you.
No.
The other question that I hear a lot of people ask me is
yeah.
like, hey, is it a good neighborhood? It's kind of a similar, this kind of goes hand in hand with the school
yeah.
thing, I guess. Is it a good neighborhood, or is it a safe neighborhood, or is it?
I want to be in a good part of town.
Yeah, and for us to define that is just, it's again, very hard to do. That's a very subjective kind of a question. And so, you know, we do recommend, you know, things like with St. Louis City and St. Louis County and St. Charles County, those respective police departments have crime mapping websites that you can go online and check those out and see kind of what's going on in the areas that you're looking. We feel like that's, you know, kind of, obviously that's kind of important, right? Most people want to know, you know, what's happening in the area that I'm considering living in. Other things we suggest too is just like folks do, you know, go drive by. Do a drive-by of houses you're looking at. Do it during different times of day. Maybe do it during rush hour. Maybe do it during the evening, the nighttime, whatever. Again, just to get yourself a feel for the specific neighborhoods that maybe you're considering moving into. Because obviously you're going to spend some time there.
Spend a lot of time there, yeah. And I'm just going to run it back a little bit to the crime maps. All crimes are public information. So even like Jefferson County, all crimes are available there. the maps, the reason we like the St. Louis County, St. Louis City, St. Charles County is because they have an actual map where you can zoom in and out. So you can zoom directly into the house and see what's been happening in like a 2-block radius of your house, or you can zoom out for a bigger feel of the general area and see kind of what's been happening that way. So that's why I really like that instead of, just reading through and scrolling through a long, long list of all the crimes in Jefferson County gets a little intimidating. Being able to zoom in and seeing, okay, maybe it's closer over to this part, or maybe that's like the downtown area, stuff like that. You see where it's more apt to happen.
Gotcha. Yeah. Okay. And then just the other things to consider as you're thinking about buying your house, I guess, is, like
drive time. That could be a really good one we can talk about real quick.
Yeah, if you have to be, at work at a certain time and you're not one of the lucky ones that work from home. That's changed a lot over the last few years, obviously, with people working from home. But if that's not the case for you, drive time is important. We can even, kind of give you through our multiple listing service, we can actually
give
do
you a
projected,
radius.
like a radius of projected drive times based on certain times of day.
It's kind of fun to look at. It's all jaggedy depending on like how close to highways you are and everything.
Yeah, it's an interesting map, but that can kind of help you as well. So you're not spending half your life in traffic. We all know how St. Louis traffic can be. So
God love 270.
Yeah, you do. That's for sure. All right. So what else, Danielle?
So I guess once you've been looking online and you've talked with your agent and you found a few homes that spark your interest, and now comes that next step of going and actually seeing the home in person. So I'll just say in our experience, when we take clients out, we try to focus on 4 to 5 houses at a time per day. So, and that's not to overwhelm you. So, like, I know you found 10 houses online and you love them all and you want to see them all today, and we're just really excited. But, like, once you hit 4 or 5 houses, they're all going to start blurring together.
Yeah.
Like, you'll forget which house had the granite countertop. Was that the same one that had the fireplace in the family room? Or was it in the other house that had the partially finished basement? Like,
did that have the jet tub, or which one had that? And
and they just start blurring together, and you just end up looking at the photos all over again.
Yeah, it does. We feel like it does you a disservice to look at too many houses at one time, because you will never, ever, ever
remember all
of it, and it'll just really lead to a very confusing and just a confusing experience, which we really never want to have our buyers, get done with the day of looking at houses and being more confused than when they started. So it's just that's a good rule of thumb that we like to use.
And then at the end of the day, sometimes we just like to ask. Sometimes it's hypothetical. Sometimes we are going back and forth between the two. But we'll ask our clients, if you had to write an offer today, out of the houses we've seen, which one did you like the best? Which one would you write on? And not saying that you have to write on that one, but I mean, it helps us as your agent figure out what you're looking for more in a home and kind of compare, contrast the different homes, the styles, the amenities, so that when we're looking online, or when you send us homes or whatever, when we're looking online, we can kind of help filter those out for you and what we send you.
Yeah, absolutely. That's important.
For all you listening out there, if this has helped you start kind of that brainstorming process of what do I do and how do I start buying a home, you got some thought starters now. And
absolutely. And
if you have any additional questions, you know how to reach us.
Yeah, we'd love for you to give us a call and just chat. There's no obligation to it or anything like that, but certainly we would love to help you in your home buying experience, whether you're first-time home buyers or 10th-time home buyers.
Yeah.
We would sure love to help
Earn
anybody
your
out there.
business.
Yeah, out there that would need some help.
Absolutely.
Right?
Right.
All right. Well, we'll sign off, I guess, for the day.
Signing off. This was Jim and Danielle Kempf with the Kempf team.
You've been listening to Getting Real with Real Estate with the Kempf team. Have questions about real estate or something you'd like to discuss? Contact the Kempf team at 314-336-1926 or visit our Facebook page at facebook.com/the Kempf team. Don't want to miss any episodes? Follow us on your favorite podcast app or YouTube. The Kempf team. Real, honest real estate.